Hey guys, welcome back to the KS Gym, and it's me, Rahul. Today we're going to be doing another episode of Road to Worlds. I think it's like episode 8, 9 maybe? I think 8 sounds about right. I think it's 8. So today I'm pretty much going to recap St. Louis Regionals, expanded, how it went down, what I played, why I played it, etc. So first off, before I start, huge shout out to everyone who came up to me this weekend, said I make good videos, blah, 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 whatever. Meant a lot to me. Every single person who said it, I'm eternally thankful. You guys are the reason I keep doing this. You guys are fantastic. Love all of you. Second huge shout out to Team ARG. As a media member of their team, I was given a lot of cool stuff. I was able to represent them very well this weekend, and I got to wear a sick jersey for all of those who caught me on stream. The jersey was amazing. I was very excited. Third shout out goes to my teammates, or the people who helped build this deck with me: Ryan, Dan, and Drew, um, and Grafton. Well, I'm just gonna go into the deck building process. I'll shout them out as I go. Okay, so Volcanion. Why Volcanion? I know you guys have heard me say Volcanion's bad in standard, and I agree. It sucks in standard. But when you come to expanded, you add battle compressor, blacksmith, which is insane. Volcanion gets early game speed, late game reliability, that you're not stumbling over getting a third Volcanion setup anymore. You're not stumbling over finding energies because you now play superior energy retrievals. You have an execute to recycle that, and you have blacksmith to make sure you're attacking every time. So why did I play Volcanion? Until about probably Tuesday, Wednesday before the event, I was going to play Vespaquin or Dark Tina. Those are my two options going in. Same with my friend Ryan Sablehouse. And me and Ryan talk about decks all the time. And Ryan brought up Volcanion and said, why isn't Volcanion good anymore? I said, I don't know. So I went ahead and messaged Grafton, Drew Bennett, and Michael Slutsky. And we all talked about it for a little bit. And I threw together a preliminary list. I just threw together a couple of hodgepodge cards about what I thought belonged, what I didn't think belonged. And played a couple of games, and I was like, wow, this is pretty good. I am getting a lot of damage out consistently every time, every turn. This is crazy. And so I send Ryan the list, and Ryan plays a couple of games, and he goes, this is pretty good. Then I send Grafton, and Grafton and I share an account, so Grafton logs on later that day and goes, let me play a couple games. I said, yeah, this is what the deck is named. He goes, this is pretty good. I sent it to Drew. He goes, this is pretty good. So we all come to an agreement that the deck is pretty good. Now, me and Ryan were talking, and Ryan and Grafton both love the Starmie line, the 1/1 Starmie line, because one, Starmie is for your treat, and two, Starmie ensures that you always find your energies under channel lock, under those kind, like just channel lock and like a lab and things like that. And so it's just like a very good late game option. And I didn't really like the Starmie when testing. I felt like it should be cut. By testing, I mean like the 4 games we probably played between the 5 of us. We didn't play that many games. We just kind of theory mined the list and we went with it because it just seemed like the correct play for the event. But I kept the Starmie because I trust Ryan and I trust my friend Dan as well. And their judgment is more sound than mine most of the time. Then leading into the event the night before we get there, St. Louis, I'm pretty much locked in on Volcanion. I don't think I was going to change at this point. I literally just didn't bring cards or anything other than that Dark Tito and Meg Ray. I brought cards for Meg Ray just in case I wanted to do Philly Part 2 for some reason. And then I was talking to, we were waiting on Ryan to get there, so me, myself, and some of the other guys went to go talk to someone's PC guys, Brad, Azul, and them. And so I go over to Azul and I pretty much say, Volcanion's the play. And he goes, is it? And I go, yeah. And then I send Brad and Azul the list. They look at it. They tell me they hate the Starmie. And then the night before, Ryan goes, talks to them, finalizes the list while I was taking a shower, getting ready for the night to go to bed. Comes up and we come up with the superiors to add back into the deck. We decide Egg goes back in because we have compressors. And this is the list that me and Ryan and Dan settle on for the night. The next morning, we go downstairs, talk to Azul for a little bit. Himself and Brad decide that they aren't going to play the 1/1 Starmie line, and they opt to go for a third superior energy retrieval and an Oranguru. No, they didn't have the Oranguru. They played like AZ instead. The AZ, which I think in hindsight the AZ was a very good card, and I wish I had that for majority of the day. But can't complain. So after talking to those two, Azul prints us off like 15 deck lists or something. We go change all our stuff up, get in line, turn it in. We're locked in. We've made this decision. We're all gonna do well, or we're all gonna suck together. Volcanion was like, it was a glass cannon call. So let me run through some of the cards in the deck. As I go along, I don't actually need to run through any of the cards. I'm just gonna go through my tournament report because Grafton jumped on again. God, I hate this. He's on his way to Australia, so I know he's antsy and he wants to play games. So I'll let him take care of that. He's on his way to Australia. I can't blame him. He's got to get some testing in. So I will jump on and talk about my report, I guess. I remember most of the list by heart. I have it in front of me, so I will go through it IRL. We've got 3 Volcanions. Pretty good. The babies are pretty good. I think having them is very necessary. You really don't need a 4th, but if you don't play 3 is a little sometimes too many, but 2 is too little. And a lot of matches you just need 2 babies, and the 3rd usually hits the discard. But if you don't have the 3rd, sometimes it can be a problem. For the X, 2 Shaman, a Hoopa. The Starmie line, like I said, Trainer Lock, but yeah, it helped out. 4 Sycamore, 2 Blacksmith, absolutely mandatory. 2 feels like too much sometimes, but 1 feels like too little. Again, 2 Chorus, 2 Lysander, 1 N. The AZ would have been nice, like I said earlier, but we opted not to play it. And I think favor of the Starmie line. Yeah, it was a heavier supporter deck, so the item lock wouldn't hurt us as much as long as we got 1 turn. Skyfields, VS, Ultra Ball, Superiors. The only card that I wish I could have cut the entire day was Max Elixirs. We played 2, and they did not feel like they did anything to me all day. I feel like both Max Elixirs were just expendable cards that I kind of used to get information as what was left in my deck. Or like early game, I was just like, I guess I can Max Elixir because I mean it's turn 1, and like it didn't even matter because I would be like blacksmithing anyway. So majority of the time, most of these Max Elixirs were, I think, 3rd Superior Energy Retrieval and an AZ would have been correct. And then everything else is pretty self-explanatory. The dowsing, we played the dowsing because we're running through our deck turn 1. We're just kind of blowing up as fast as possible, and comp search kind of like gets in the way sometimes. Dowsing was correct, I think. Dowsing was very good because we're burning through resources very fast, and resources is the name of this deck. So I'll jump into the report. Round 1, I play against. Let me pull it up on my phone because I don't want to get any names wrong. It was a very long 2 days, and I wanted to make sure I get everybody. Okay, round 1, I hit Jerry Zhu, I think Canadian player playing Speed Dark, and basically the matchup is extremely favored for me. All I have to do is early turns, hit him with a baby, try to 2-shot things. If he ever benches a Jirachi, I kill a Jirachi with the baby, steam up a couple times, set up 2 Volcanion. He shouldn't ever be able to get to 1-shot territory. And even now, unless they play EXP share, I can return the knockout, and he can't. If that makes any sense. Exactly what happened. I 2-0 Jerry. Round 2, Nick Campbell, good friend of mine, Hovercat, one of my favorite human beings on this planet. Playing Dark Tina, Salamence. Game 1, Salamence doesn't really have an effect. I take an early lead and I just win the game. Game 2, he goes first. He goes for the Salamence, but I can't afford to play around the Salamence because my only way to get cards is Hoopa. So I Hoopa, set up my entire field, and just kind of say, do your worst. And then he Salamence, takes a knockout, and then I can potentially return, but I missed the energy for the knockout, so I have to pass and give him another knockout on, I think, a Keldeo. So he kills the Keldeo. I'm down to, I know a Keldeo, I think a Hoopa. I gave him a Hoopa, I want to say. And so he's down to 2 prizes, and then I bring up the dude and I one-shot him while ending. And then he brings up Darkrai, hits me, and then I retreat Blacksmith into the other Volcanion, and I knock him out. And then he has to, I think, he has about 15 cards in deck and 3 outs to find the Lysander. And he goes Shaman for 5. It doesn't hit it. Trainer's Mail doesn't hit it. Trainer's Mail doesn't hit it. Hits into me, and then I just have the answer next turn for knockout win game. Round 3, I hit Dakota Galanders, another good friend of mine, playing um, Turbo Dark with lasers, so he can put me to sleep and knock me out with the Dark Head, which is very cute in a sense. I think he played Burbank as his stadium of choice too. Game 1, I pretty much do 220 turn 1 to his Darkrai, and he loses the game from there. Game 2, I go up 4 prizes very quickly. I have 2 prizes. I got onto 1 prize. I have 1 prize left to take. He has a Shaman sitting on his bench. Something. I've won pretty much. But he goes lasers, heads, tails 3 times, and the 4th laser he hits tails, and I'm just like, okay, I have game. So that I almost lost because I kept getting laser heads, tails, but that was the only reason. And he kept dark heading me. 3-0, feeling pretty good. Go to lunch, get some Arby's. First time I've ever gone to an Arby's. Buffalo chicken sandwich. Pretty good. I recommend. Then I go to round 4, playing against Brian Bendel. Another fun guy, Hovercat. Pretty good player. He's playing Turbo Dark. Another favorable matchup. No matter what Brian could do, I would just set up. And he can't even kill a baby until the middle of the game. And by the time they're able to do that, I've got enough energies on my board where I can just take 3 knockouts and win the game. Round 5, I go up against Ross Cawthon. If you guys don't know who Ross is, one of the greatest players to ever play this game. Playing Lurantis Plume. Matchup I love to see. Game 1, I go first, pop off, get energy on my field. That's all I need to do. I win because he tries to go for the deck out, hoping I don't have the 12th energy in my deck, which I do. So I just kind of draw into it, retreat, and win the game. After Life Center stalls me. In game 2, I had a disgusting start. He goes turn 1 Plume, Lurantis, and then I go under. I open Baby Volcanion. Under Trainer Lock, I go Hoopa, double Volcanion, Shaman, put them all in my hand, double Steam Up, attach Blacksmith, Shaman for 6 new cards, do something else, and then I knock out his Lurantis. And then I think he Lysanders, and I just attach to the Hoopa and I pass or something, and he does it again, and I just attach, retreat, Steam Up, knockout, and then he concedes. So it was pretty disgusting how good my hand was. When I take a hit, Zachary Zaharis playing Evital, Maxis. Game 1, I opened Staryu, and that was, I think, one of the deadest hands I've had all day. I passed. I die. Staryu died. Game 2, I set up like I was supposed to, and I just smacked him around. Game 3, same thing. I just set up properly, and 130 is a lot of damage for Fright Knight. Normally, Fright Knight can do a number on you in Standard, but in Expanded, they bring up a Volcanion. You just go, okay, Blacksmith to this new one, and I'll kill you. And that's pretty much it. So I'm 6-0. I tell myself if I hit a friend, maybe I'll just ID them into cut, and we'll have a good time playing our last 2 games out. And I had Connor Finton, and I was planning on IDing, but then we play on stream. So I have to play that. He's playing Mega Gardevoir. Favorable, very, very favorable matchup for me. We go on stream. Game 1, I set up like I'm supposed to. He prizes 2 baby Gardevoirs. Nothing's going his way. I win the game. Game 2, he goes down to like 1 prize card, I think. And I'm like, how do I win this? And then I mount my comeback, go down to 2 prizes myself while ending him to 1 in the same turn. And I've got game on board next turn. And I'm like, what does he need to win the game? He needs Dragonite to get enough bench Pokemon and then Jirachi into his 1 Iris that I know he plays. And he hits the Dragonite. And I was like, okay, you got me, buddy. We were laughing about it and we were having a good time because as soon as he did it, he's like, I got so lucky. I'm like, yeah, you did. And game 3, I go pop off on my turn 1. I've got like enough cards to just like pretty much next turn kill the Gardevoir if it comes up. And I'm chilling at this point. And then he opened Jirachi too, so I was like, I'm gonna take 2 prizes on this thing because I've got Lysander in my hand for next turn as well. And he says pass. And then I just kind of Ultra Ball my whole hand away, get a Shaman for 6, and get a Fire. So, sorry, Connor, about that one, but 7-0 feels pretty awesome. Round 8, I hit Mike Moskowitz. playing Plume Lurantis, and I pretty much do like Lurantis Plume doesn't really have an answer to Volcanion if I can find my energy. And game one, I went first. I set up and I won the game. Game two, he missed a turn one Plume, so I was still able to get a turn of items, and it was over from there. I just was able to set up two Volcanions on like turn one, turn two, and I just could finish it. I'm 8-0, feeling awesome. I go up against Alex Wilson, the eventual winner of the tournament, playing Mega Rayquaza. Offer an ID. He says, no, I'm going for the 14. No, I said, rats. Game one, he hexes me like 5 turns in a row and just wins off that pretty much because I don't have an answer after that because he's just setting up and I'm not. And he's taking knockouts and I'm not. Game two, I set up really, really well to the point where his Hex Maniacs don't matter because I'm just Lysandering around and taking knockouts. And he has to keep ramping. Like, he has to find his supporters to keep pressure, and he just doesn't. And I win. Game three, he has a pretty dead hand, and he just hexes and passes. And I'm sitting there with turn one, 220 in my hand if the hex didn't come down. Goes on for about 4 turns of him hexing. And I lost because I could not play the Ultra. Like, I just couldn't. I had to Ultra Ball for something suboptimal in my hand. And from there, it was just over. So I take my first loss of the tournament. And then I move into day two, second seed. Pretty awesome. I just knew I had to win 2 games and a tie tomorrow. And I was like, okay, it's good. Day two, I come back up against Johnny Kettler, eventual second place finisher of the tournament. Game one, I receive a game loss due to a card being bent to hell. Understandable, it was my Skyfield, so I had to throw it away and get a new one. I guess during one of my games, one of my opponents must have like bent it in a weird way. The sleeves were all fine. It was just that one card, so understandable. Only gripe I had with it was that I was told that I was allowed to continue playing with that Skyfield that was bent. But I just kind of was like, I don't want to take any chances, so I threw it away, and I just put in a new Skyfield. I like legitimately I have like 10 Skyfields in my binder, so I don't care. Game one loss was pretty substantial because game two, we were playing the first game of the series, which is game two technically. I go first. I'm setting up, but I can't find energies. I just can't find the energy cards I need to set up while I'm going. And so Kettler gets off to a good enough placing, a part where he can continuously Lysander stall me, and I couldn't find energies. So all my Volcanions were like sitting ducks, and I lost because eventually I needed to find, I think, a blacksmith and an energy. I had the blacksmith, I just needed energy to win the game, and I couldn't get the energy. So the energies were the biggest issue, finding them. No big deal. I'm still in a pretty good position. Next round, I go up against Alex Szymanski. Very good player. First year master, dominating a bunch of tournaments, playing Toad Decidueye, but their list was crazy. It had like 4 Scoop Up Cyclone, 4 Pokemon Communication, and like it was just so optimized to burning through your whole deck, getting Toad and Decidueye out on first turn, and just winning the game from there. Game 1, he does that. I lose. Game 2, I set up like I'm supposed to. The matchup is actually kind of even because it just they don't do that much damage, and you can take your time and just set up and knock out Toads, which is exactly what I did. Game 3, I hit like 3 turns, I think, with the baby Volcanions, but I couldn't find any Fire Energy to put in my discard again. And if I had Fire Energies, I would have set up a couple Volcanion EXs and just finished the game up. But because I could not, Alex ran away with the game. And took my second loss of the day. At this point, I was feeling pretty bummed. I thought I was dead. I was like, I have to win out, or I have to go like 2-0-1 from here, and I was like, I'm feeling pretty bad. I hit Steve Guthrie, or the World Around Heretic. Check out his YouTube, pretty awesome guy. Loved playing against him. It was very fun. We talked, we chatted. He was playing Vespiquen Vileplume. Game 1, I set up properly. Volcanion just kind of steamrolls that deck. Game 2, he goes off. I think he had like 10 cards left in his deck at the end of turn 1, and he sets up a Vileplume. And I was like, oh, we're in some trouble. And then I knock out a Vespiquen. He only has 1 Vespiquen left on the field. Knocks out my dude. No, yeah. No, he has 2 Vespiquens. Knocks out my dude. Bring up my baby dude. Knockout dude. Attach dash. Knocks out my dude. Bring up baby dude. Knockout. He's out of Vesperquins. Sky returns me. Passes. I draw. I pass. And then he has to put the other shipment down on the bench so I don't just knock out his plume and win the game on benching. And he does that again, and I have Lysander in hand, so I just Lysander Shaman and win. Close series. Incredible games. Fun. I had a fun time. I felt back after that one. Next round, I hit Ross again. And game one, I just set up. He misses turn one plume. I set up. I win. Game two, I'm going to try to give you the turn by turn. This is absolutely disgusting. This should never have happened. Turn one, he pops off. Double Laurentis plume. Pass. My turn. Baby Volcanion. Bench a Staryu that I top decked. Attach a Fire Energy. 40 damage. He goes, draws, Flower Supplies. I go, draw, bench Keldeo X that I just top decked, attach to Baby Volcanion, Russian, pass. He goes, draw, Flower Supply, pass. And then I go, draw, attach to Keldeo, pass. Then he proceeds to go, draw, second attack, knockout. I promote Volcanion, I draw, I benched another Baby Volcanion that I've now top decked. Oh, again, attached from my hand. 200 damage knockout. Take my 2 prizes. Promotes Laurentis. He draws, knocks me out. I'm setting up another Laurentis in the process, I believe. Promotes Staryu, draw for turn, top deck a fire, bench the Volcanion X I got off my prizes, attach that fire, blacksmith 2 more, retreat the Staryu, knock out his Laurentis. Draw 2 prizes. He goes, draw, pushes up something. Doesn't do much, passes. I go, draw. I think attach to bench Volcanion. Chorus. Get nothing. After my chorus, I have Blacksmith and Lysander, I think. Blacksmith, Lysander. Yeah, Blacksmith, Lysander were my 2 cards. No, just Blacksmith. And then I go, no, yeah, Blacksmith, Lysander, yeah. And then, no, I didn't chorus that turn. I Lysandered that turn. The turn that, the turn after a Volcanion Hero, which you can attack. I see that it's 3 forests are gone, 3 AZ are gone, and I bring up the Vileplume and I just say, hey, you need to have your 4th forest and 4th AZ here, or you're never getting Plume up again. If you're never getting out, he's like 2 cards in deck. So Ross goes draw, Lysander up my Volcanion with 40 damage on it and with 1 energy on it. And then I go draw, pass, and then he goes AZ Vileplume, push up Laurentis, attach to Laurentis, forest, go, Palpad 2 cards back in his deck because he has a 0 card deck now. I think it was like an AZ and Lysander. And then he just hits me, and then I just go draw, Blacksmith knockout. And he said, why didn't you play Blacksmith? Because I had no reason to, really. I wasn't going to kill the Vileplume. So I was pretty much sack Ross. I'm at 30 points. I can just ID into cut now. Feels pretty awesome. Except I get down paired into Andrew Wamble. Another great friend, another incredibly smart person, one of my favorite human beings again. Andrew's playing Yveltal Maxis, very scrappy game. I'm thinking to myself, I have to play this to a tie, but I don't know how to slow play. I was on stream. Game 1 I won, pretty convincingly. Game 2 I was in a position where I was going to win, and in Andrew's 5-card hand, he had the Reverse Valley Lysander to take 4 prizes in 1 turn with Fright Night, which was disgusting, but I wasn't even mad that he was able to pull that off, and I lost that one. Game 3, I go up 4 prizes by playing aggressively, incredibly quickly, and I have 2 prizes remaining. He ends me to 2 with a full 6 prizes. He's going to take 3 prizes that turn if he can find a DC off the end. He doesn't find the DCE. As soon as time is called, he concedes because he would like to put me through into top 8. And this guarantees him top 16. And he also shows me that 2 DCs were prized and he was never going to attack with Fright Night, really. And I was in top 8. So it was my 9th top 8 of the season. Not season. That's insane. It was my 9th top 8 of the year. A lifetime. regionals. I'm feeling insane. I don't know how to react. I'm over the moon. Go up, I see I'm paired against one of my best friends, Israel Sosa. Crazy, crazy games we had. Game one, prizing my last Skyfield lost me the game. I had game, I just had the Sycamore, and if I had Skyfield superior, I win. If not, I'll lose. I had the superior, I didn't have the Skyfield, I lost. Game two, I set up, smack him around. Game three, he turn one, gets this as my entire hand except for a fire and a Skyfield away, puts the lab down and passes, and I have a lone baby Volcanion active. I draw my top card. I'm like, is this how it's going to end? Is this how my tournament life's going to end? Nope. Skyfield, Fire, Sycamore. Draw my cards. We've got a game. Rest of the game's blur, so we're down to 1-1 prizes. He puts up the Sableye and junk hunts. Oh no, 2-1 prizes. I have 2. And then I go 8 cards in my deck, 2 VS Seekers, 1 Lysander, 1 Dowsing. I just need any of those to win the game. Draw, it's none of those. I sit there for about 2 minutes because I don't want to make a move. Because I think he has game in his hand because he grabbed Scrapper via Seeker. So I'm thinking here he's got a DCE. So he's just gonna go DCE, retreat into Evital, one shot, my Starmie on the bench, and then I just go Volcanic Heat, knock out your Sableye. And then he goes draw. He promotes the Evital, draw, Scrappers my tools off. Sycamores, and I'm sitting here like, yes, he's Sycamore. Yes. And then he does things. And then he goes dowsing for a patch, double patches to the Darkrai, attaches, retreats 90-30. And then he could have dowsing to the lab, but I had the Skyfield in my hand, so it didn't matter. And then the moment he does that, I draw. I breathe a sigh of relief because it doesn't matter. And then I go bench third Volcanion, retreat, Blacksmith, Superior, steam up, steam up, steam up. Yeah, knockout. And I made it in the top 4, and I was ecstatic. Top 4, rematch against Alex Wilson. Game 1, took about 10 minutes for him to get through his entire deck. He'd have gone through about 35 cards, set up a ridiculous field, and then hexed me. Game was close, actually. It came down to the point where I could knock out his last Rayquaza, leaving him with nothing on the field. But I had 2 Volcanions in the discard, so I could never one-shot a Rayquaza again, and I lost. Game 2, I drew, attached my baby Volcanion, put a Fighting Fury belt on it, and said the words pass. And he got me. He did what Ray's supposed to do, and he one-shot me. With that, my tournament run had ended. I was still very happy with how it went. With that, I've got a top 4 under my belt. Huge thanks to Team ARG, my Chaos Gym teammates, and my prison teammates. Shoutouts to Drew Bennett, Ryan, Dan, Grafton, Mike, all entertaining the dumb idea of Volcanion we had, sticking with it. Azul and Brad for jumping on the train with us. We were either going to do really well or just all suck, and I'm glad most of us did. We had a 50-50 ratio on that one. Other than that, shout outs to the Margarita place next door. That was awesome. Shout out to good luck to Kenny Keon and Grafton in Australia, Drew as well, Pramawant, Finton Hill, everybody. Shout out to Slutsky for the baby powder. Other than that, I think that's everybody that made this weekend amazing. There's a lot of people that made this weekend amazing. You guys all know who you are. It feels amazing to have my first top 4 trophy. It's over there somewhere, over my bed or whatever now. So thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry about the deckless part. That was just Grafton getting weird for Australia. But yeah. Other than that, thank you guys so much. Be sure to like, subscribe, support Grafton out in Australia. He'll be back with the vlog. He'll be back with a top 32 report from this regionals as well, playing his weird Aerodactyl funky deck. He's also up on Hayfonte. Yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah. See you in Roanoke.